Good day, lords and ladies, and welcome back to Age of Fear of me, Cornish-Knight. This is a game that has been given to me by the developers of the Age of Fear series. Leslaw Silco. I apologise, that name is slightly pronounced incorrectly. So let's jump in and get on with this. Let's see, sound. Overvoice volume. They have a very nice overvoice volume. I will put it on for actually I might not. The thing is that with it enabled, it makes my job a bit harder. So let's get down to it. We have a choice. We have a choice of playing a necromancer campaign. This story of the necromancer apprentice Krell will have to travel many distant lands before he finally finds his dark destiny. Or we can play the tale of Sir Edward. Knight Edward will have to stop a greenskin invasion with all his might and valour. However, he does not expect. There is an evil ancient power that he will defeat. Let's go with this one because it's a rather straightforward one. We'll play the other one after we finish this one. Different levels of experience: novice, experienced, master, Death Seeker. This game is very much like Fire Emblem in some ways. So you have permadeath, you have carried on like units, like you have continual gameplay as it were, so your units will die, and if you die they don't get them back, you have to buy new ones. So it's a rather challenging game at the best of times. So let's go with experienced. Edward, son of Borin, faced the same challenges of many young noblemen in the lands near Redcastle. As the fourth son of a minor noble house, he had not even a horse or a decent sword to call his own. That's not really true. You would have had like your weapons and armour, but that would have been it. Sorry, just having a sip of water. However, what he lacked in material possessions he made up for in prowess, courage and determination as he sewed at the king's hunting party. With a horse, weaponry borrowed from his elder brother, he did his family proud. Edward's steady hand and careful aim meant that he could fell a deer at the furthest distance, drop a goose swiftly and spear a charging boar through the heart before it could do the same to him with its razor-sharp tusks. But Edward was still forced to consider the outing a failure, for despite distinguishing himself in the hunt, he was unable to better his standing by gathering either the sponsorship of a wealthy merchant or the attentions of a well-dowered maiden. Fourth sons tend to have a rather hard luck in life in medieval society. They don't get anything really because all the money goes to the firstborn. The secondborn tends to be like the backup, and the thirdborn tends to go into the clergy. So, like, fourth and fifth and sixth born sons tend to get sold off practically to merchant families or other families, as sort of like, because if you marry into a family, your wife basically gives your family a dowry, so they get money from it. It's all political manoeuvring, really. You didn't really want to be like the fourth son. You didn't get much out of it, except a lot of like freedom, because there wasn't as much expected of you. Like mobility, you could become quite a lot of different things, and there wasn't like massive expectations of you, as say if you were the first or second son. As Edward slowly made his way back to his tent, his thoughts drifted to the injustice that birth and wealth counted for so much more than merit and honour, when the only foes to be had were forest creatures or tourney opponents with blunt weapons, but there was little chance of achieving glory, wealth or respect with martial skill. Yeah, I should probably mention this. The main character, he's really not suited to be a paladin. You'll see this as we play, but he's in this predominantly for himself. He's not a D&D paladin. He's not like for the greater good. He's for how can I better myself. The land has known long years of relative peace and prosperity, with dark times of the past only spoken of by greybeards around the firelight to frighten children. But darkness does not sleep, only lies in wait for men to forget and lower their guards. Little did Edward know that soon enough social inequality would be the least of his worries. His fortitude, strength and noble heart would be tested to their very limits, perhaps even beyond. Edward's chance to impress influential nobles, merchants and eligible ladies was drawing to a close. Afterwards he would have to return home to play the role of the dutiful fourth son, to better his family's position through a selfless service without regard for his own ambitions. Yeah, as you can tell, he's not really what we would consider like the default paladin setting. As luck would have it, fate provided Edward with a chance encounter with the king's chamberlain, Tilbald, an aging courtier whose eyes betrayed incisive wisdom at odds with the foppish silks which he was clad. "Ah, young Edward, I see that the hunt holds little challenge for you, and that the camaraderie of other noblemen is little to your liking. I, however, offer you the proposition that may be of great interest, a boon I couldn't accept, sir. This is not a challenge to entertain and amuse you, boy. I dare to presume that your father still has a little purse, does he not? And you too have little coin to spend, am I right? Yes, sir, though it pains me to admit it, you will speak the truth. Then listen to my proposition. The king wants to eliminate the goblins looming at the edge of our camp, and you could perhaps do something about them. The king is hardly without resources or monetary reward." Edward's eyes light up. Goblins could be quite dangerous, but they are no match for his sword, because he was the fourth son. He had practiced harder, trained longer, and made more effective than any of his brothers, which is because all his brothers were probably doing stuff like learning to read and write. Well, actually, if you were nobility in the medieval period, you could read and write normally, but obviously if you're like the first and second born sons, you were expected to have training in, say, estate management or politics and stuff like that, and if you were the third son, you'd be like sent into clergy. So the reason that he practiced harder and longer than his siblings is because he probably had a lot more free time. "Goblins, sir?" inquires Edward. "They've stolen enough game and harassed enough men that the king is willing to pay a handsome fee to the man who gets rid of them. Since you are the son of an old friend, I could see my way in granting you an advance of 500 crowns for you to prepare for the journey, or for the job." "Thank you, I am honoured." "Not so fast, boy. I will lend you some armour in better condition than the sandals on your back. Wouldn't want you to return to your old friend with scratches on that pretty face, or with any parts missing." Tilbert chuckled. "I'll be much obliged, sir. Thank you again for this opportunity." "You're quite welcome. I've seen how well you handle your sword, but I would recommend you take a few mercenaries from the camp with you. There are quite a few goblins out there. No sense risking your neck for gold if you don't make it home to spend it." Then should I begin? Now follow me. When should I begin? Now follow me, replies Chamberlain. We'll see what you look like in proper suit of iron. This is the thing I find strange. Why would they use iron armour? I mean, if they're doing like high fantasy setting, like steel plate is quite common. Plus, if it's not wrought iron, if it's not like being worked in the forge, and it's just been a cast suit of iron, like if it's just cast iron armour, like cast iron breaks if you hit it with a hammer. It shatters, it's really fragile. Edward followed Tilbert to his encampment, filled with the heady anticipations of a real fight and the prospect of some coin for an honest job. And here we are at the army management section. You've gained 500 gold. In the army management section, this is our treasury, our team size, which will increase as the campaign goes on as our hero levels up. You have our stats, our health, our morale, our attack bonus, our defense bonus, our attack roll and our defense roll, our speed, our experience. You can evolve a character like you can in Fire Emblem. You can give them extra defense, extra attack, more morale, more health, special abilities, combat proficiencies, leadership, all kinds of things, and eventually you can unlock them and turn them into, say, like a paladin or like a hero, well, a more impressive hero than he is at the moment. So for the start, let's hire a footman, and we'll hire a bowman. We can rename them, but I think I won't rename them for a second. I will actually, I'll feel generous. So who should we call these two? I'm gonna call him the Furax, and this one can be Rogue, to associates mine from YouTubing days, or my YouTubing. Well, I know the Furax from doing co-op plays with him, he's a really good guy, and Rogue I know from doing various bits and pieces with him. They're really good blokes, so you should check out their channels if you get a chance. There are items in the game. Age of Fear's world is full of powerful artifacts that can only be used by heroes. Artifacts can not only improve unit stats, but might also add new skills and abilities. The majority of items in Age of Fear are randomly dropped, and every campaign is different. It will differ significantly. Every unit can hold one potion, the hero can hold one weapon, the hero can equip one shield, armour or amulet in 2 different rings, shields cannot be equipped with 2-handed weapons, a hero can carry any number of artifacts or trophies, some items are only usable by specific races, unusable items are stored in item caches, cursed items cannot be removed or exchanged. Though only holding one weapon, we can actually break that if we evolve the main character and give him a particular perk. So we don't actually start off with much. We start off with literally Paint and Ability, which basically gives us +1 attack. Only nobles are allowed to enter the knight's ranks, as that approves the birthright. The unit receives +1 attack, and that's it. We don't have anything else. We can't afford anything else either, so we're going to go straight into the campaign. Are you sure you want to? Yep, we are. Tilbud's tale proved true. Even a novice scout could see the greenskins' tracks leading from the homestead, often to the nearby wood. However, as easy as the tracks were to follow, they still led Edward's party on quite the journey, moving from one campsite to another. Edward's party knew that they were getting close when they eventually found campfire ashes that were still warm. A few more hours of travel saw them finally catch up with their quarry, who had not even bothered to post sentries. A few of the goblins were starting a fire and drinking their signature dark and heady grog. This is the thing I found interesting, it's like, where are they getting the grog from? Because grog is basically water, rum, and citrus juice of some sort. So they're having to get it from somewhere. Remnants of what might prove to be the last supper lie strewn about the camp. Let the filthy creatures choke on their nasty ale as they die. It's not ale, it's grog, mate. Edward thought to himself as he signalled his men to rush the camp. Edward, we found you, greeny goblins. Boy, look, a tiny night boy. Night boy, you little. Oh, puny knight got angry. He need a smack. Edward is a knight and specialises in melee. Knights have the ability to charge. If Edward is not engaged at the beginning of the turn, his next attack will be more potent. Right, this is like the combat scene. I'm sorry about the slight glitch, but there's slight technical issues with the engine that the developers have used for this. I think it was fixed in later iterations of the game, like in Fear 2 and Age of Fear 2 and Age of Fear 3, but I'm not totally sure, I haven't played them yet. You can click on characters to get character descriptions. For example, Edward is a jousting, has the ability called Joust, which means that he can charge, which gives him +2 attack and +1 damage on any turn that he charges where he hasn't been in melee. Lightning, but he's also vulnerable to lightning because he's clad in armour, which means he gets -1 HP and -2 defense against lightning based attacks. So this is our warrior. He can move up to here. This is one of the downsides I have with the game, is that you can't change the character's facing when you move them. You only get one move, so basically wherever you're sticking them at the end of the move, that's where they're looking, and it can lead to people being stabbed in the back surprisingly easily.
Commands.
So we will move up our archer. He's going to be coming down range. That's not good. Okay. I might need to send my hero, my knight, I might send him after the archer. He's going to slash at me with his sword. Ooh, that's not good. He stabs me. Right. Press space to toggle the UI. Helpful if icons cover units. Right, let's shoot him.
Fire.
Kill that one off. And let's hack him.
Taste my dagger.
Okay, that's not great. We might lose someone if we're not careful. So we need to charge down this guy.
To victory!
Excellent. You get money from them as well. Some of them will be carrying money. Like this goblin just dropped 23 crowns. He's going after my archer. Quickly, Knight, do your thing. Backstab him.
To glory!
And we kill that goblin brutally. You'll notice that even if we kill people, their bodies, there's like little very pale circles with blood splotches. That's because there are mechanics in this game to bring people back, and there are mechanics to raise the dead. Some units have some really nasty abilities, and you really don't want to meet them.
Out of my
Kill
way.
this goblin. The mission is over. Before leaving the battle, fallen units can be revived and carried over to the next scenario if they have the right skills or spells. Some areas are have hidden secrets waiting for you to find them. So I take it that treasure chest is the hidden secret they're talking about. Rightio. Most treasures are hidden about.
You have my sword.
So let's charge this.
To victory!
The treasure chest creaks. Let's see what these filthy goblins had hidden away in here. We're going to
Out of
smash
my
it
way.
again. Noble clothes. Not bad. And then we go. That's everything, I think. I can't see anything else. So we go main menu, end battle. Edward did not have to think about his attack, as his well-trained sword arm hacked and slashed through the forest intruders with great ease. Edward looked over the carnage of the goblin camp. Now it was strewn with greenskin corpses with faces fixed into grotesque masks of surprise and of terror. Edward felt almost disappointed at the ease of this task, surely not enough to make any lasting impression on the king. See, look, he's not doing it for the benefit of anyone besides himself. This guy, I love the fact that developers are, like, play the paladin. It's like, yeah, your paladin's really selfish. I love the fact that the developers have done this in such a way. It's like, yeah, you got to play a paladin, but he's not really a paladin. Even a squire could have led this party and slain this motley crew. Still, it was good coin, and he proved he could handle the task put before him. A tracker broke Edward from his thoughts. Sir, I have found the tracks of a much larger creature. I believe that cave in the distance is an ogre's lair. What is your command? I say he will make a worthy prey. The huntsman stops. But sir, ogres are fearsome beasts. I was once part of a militia band sent to fight one, and before we could subdue him, he killed several of our best men. Inwardly, Edward's spirits rose, for this was a worthy opponent for any knight. He didn't want to seem foolhardy and rush into perils, so he responded in a serious tone. Since we are this close to the cave, I am sure this area is part of his territory. He poses more of a threat to the folk living near the forest than the band of goblins did. By slaying him, we protect them. I love the fact how he's like trying to justify the actions, that he wants to do this for his own like selfish reasons, but it's like, wait, I have to appear to be like noble rather than being selfish. The trackers begin to eject, but Edward did not listen. He led his way up the hill and into a cave, and the hunting party followed him after only a slight of hesitations. As they entered the cave, they nearly retched. The air hit them like a hot and fetid wall. The party slowly descended into the darkened cave with Edward at the lead. Then spied the hulking figure of an ogre with crude rotten skin draped over the 9-foot wall of muscle and sinew. The beast saw them, and in that same moment it let out a fierce scream and charged the party. To battle. What is this stench? Declares Edward. Lord, have mercy on my nose. In the distance you hear an ogre roar. It looks like the owner of this cave is home, mutters Edward. More bellowing roars echo out, and he'd rather not be disturbed. This battle has a special condition, which is this little indicator here. Low light causes all ranged attacks to miss often. -2 to ranged attacks. Only ranged units are affected. Undead elementals and plants are immune. That's right, plants. This level of specific attribute will be removed after the battle. So what are we facing? A goblin with a net, a couple of other normal goblins, and this guy. An ogre is a large, cruel monstrosity and hideous humanoid monster known for tremendous strength. Ogres can cut a huge wave across the battlefield, crushing and trampling their enemies. So he has big target units, monster size comes within a price, and suitors will not miss so easily. So if we shoot him, it gets rid of the knight bonus, this penalty. He's permanently diseased, which means he has reduced attack and defense. He does double damage, so we really don't want him hitting any of our normal guys. He's vulnerable to poisons, which means he receives a penalty to defense and a penalty to HP from taking poison damage. He can stun people with attack. He's stupid, which sees less experience, and he's weakened, so he has less attack and defense anyway. This guy basically has been greatly weakened for us, because normally these guys are like monstrously dangerous. And we've got a netter, we've got a goblin catcher with ensnarl. Units throw a capture net at the target enemy. Ensnarled units cannot move for 1 turn, are easier to hit. Ah, cool. So let's do this.
Aiming.
We'll move him up there. Move him there.
Splendid.
I need
Yes,
to
my
keep
king.
my basic troops away from this guy because he can kill them with 1 hit if we're not careful. Now this is where morale will play into the game. Toggle units' names. So what if we pray on me? Yeah, that's cool. Let's see. So we have rogue. There we go. That could be useful to see. You can see with their characters here, you have their health bar, and the little grey bar just below them is their morale, which will decrease if we kill people. So they're still out of range. We're going to burn 1 more turn to get these goblins to come towards us, and hopefully rogue will be useful. Because that ogre is coming and he looks mightily unimpressed. Right, let's shoot him. And we
Here's
missed.
my message.
Okay.
Very clever.
Kill him. The morality has dropped. How far is the ogre off? I need to kill this net thrower.
Rush on them.
So we killed him, and as you see, their morale has completely dropped. Except for this one. Ooh, that's not good. Okay. He can't do anything this turn either. So that goblin's probably going to try and charge me. And that ogre is coming in. Okay. We're stuck in melee. Okay. The Thorax, go and rescue rogue.
Taste my dagger.
Oh, come on, dude.
On it.
Rogue has to save himself, it seems. Edward, fight the ogre.
Try to stop me.
Goblin's trying to rally, which is not fantastic for us. We're going to have to move up and try and kill this
Commands.
goblin before he rallies. So the Thorax is going to go there. You can see the problem I have is that because you can't angle where they're looking, the enemy can get it behind you and stab. Anyone that's interested, this has a very similar look to like the D20 online software that they use for playing D&D online, and I like that because it reminds me of Dungeons and Dragons. The goblins. I really don't want to get close because you have like one.
Fight
You
for
can
the
get
king.
out of combat really easy in this game,
Surely.
so I don't want to get close enough.
War is coming.
Yeah, stop. Yeah, that's what I was worried about. Oh,
Out
hit
of
him in
my
the
way.
back. We just need 1 hit. Come on.
Very clever.
Oh, the Thorax killed him. The ogre falls. You can be proud of yourself, Edward. You just slain an ogre. The horse, Lucifer the horse, snorts at you. What? Come on, it was a huge one. Yeah, this guy has a really weird relationship with his horse.
Aiming.
So we killed him. The goblin's probably going to try and stab me in the back. You can kill him because you need more experience.
To victory.
Battle is won. So let us end turn.
You have my sword. Rush on them.
We'll hack this
To
open quickly.
victory.
We've got a gold bar. Ooh. And a holy pendant. Awesome. So there's nothing else here I believe, so we'll end turn. The fight with the ogre was ferocious. Edward was amazed by just how many deep wounds the beast could withstand before it finally toppled. The party took the ogre's head as a trophy, gathered their wounded comrades and departed the cave. They felt a palpable relief as they emerged from its fetid, stinking darkness into the sunlight and clean air. By evening they caught up with their king's hunting party. Edward tried to remain outwardly stoic, but could not suppress his self-satisfaction with the outcome of his adventure. I've bested a mighty beast, which every knight needs to do. Still, it would be presumptuous to publicly boast of my deeds. I shall surely be commended for my heroic feat, he thought. Yeah, that's not really being modest, mate. Edward ordered the mercenaries back to their area and headed to the king's banquet alone. Edward receives an ogre's head. The feast tent was alive with roaring fire, festive music and dancing ladies. The tent smelled strongly of beer and a welcome scent after Edward's long day. Tilbuld immediately approached Edward. I see you survived your adventure, boy. I take it that your prey isn't doing so well. They are not doing well at all, sir. The greenskins won't be bothering anyone again. Very good, boy. The king will be pleased. I am glad to help, he replied. I feel he'll be even more pleased to hear about my party's other prey, he thought. Okay, that senator's slightly out of whack. Edward had been holding the hideous decapitated head of the ogre behind his back the entire time. He now raised it high and threw it to the ground, where it landed with a sickening thud. Yeah, because that's really subtle and not boasting. The few dancing ladies saw the horrible battle trophy and leapt back from its shrieking. Within seconds, the raucous party was silenced. Even the musicians ceased to play. Tilbud stared aghast at the gruesome head. A long moment passed before he turned back to Edward and said, "My good sir, I think that was neither necessary nor appropriate behaviour." Tilbud trailed off as the sound of applause cut through the hush. Everyone turned towards the source of the clapping. It was King William himself. He laughed deeply and before speaking. "Now that's something, boy. Not every knight that meets an ogre lives to speak of it. I knew nothing of this beast living in my forest. Tilbud, give this young lad a prize for his brilliant work. He's earned it. Now play, musicians, and let the dancing commence." Once the music resumed and the crowd had turned from the grotesque head, Tilbud drew close to Edward and spoke. "Boy, you have more luck than brains. That stunt you pulled earned William's favour, but could just have easily earned your head a place next to the ogre's." "Understood, sir. I will try to stick to less. I will restrain myself from performing such gruesome, dramatic gestures in the future, my lord," you mutter. Here is your purse. Here's your purse, then, and a small gift from me. This ring has served me well for quite some time. Keep the armour as well. I'm sure you'll have need of it." "Thank you, my lord." Edward's revelry over his accomplishments all but snuffed out over Tilbud's earlier approach. "Really, mate? You were trying to be subtle, and yet you were like dramatically throwing heads about. Go on now, enjoy yourself. Those pretty ladies are looking forward to meeting you." Yeah, he's not really paladin material. Edward receives a ring of strength. Edward was the centre of attention for the next few days. The tale of his combat with the ogre seemed to grow with each retelling, and the combination of useful, good looks and daring tales won the affections of several young daughters of various minor noblemen. The party ended abruptly as King William ordered the camp to break up following the arrival of a messenger from Redcastle. As soon after, the men were moving towards the capital in a long column. The messenger had brought rumours of a greenskin horde on the march. After the column's arrival at Redcastle, King William locked himself in council with the High Court. Not yet a knight, Edward was not permitted inside. In the next few days, many mercenaries arrived at the castle. Edward thought he might enlist a few of them in preparations for the battle likely to come. New items been added to your item cache. To access item cache, select your hero and click on the items. You gain 500 gold. And this is where we're going to end it for the day, ladies and gentlemen. I like this game a lot. It's really enjoyable. I must admit I have had some technical difficulties recording it. This is my 4th attempt recording this particular Let's Play. So if I seem a bit, not rushed, but like tired, it's because literally I've spent like each episode I think is about 40 minutes. So it's like knocking on for like nearly 3 hours trying to record this, maybe more like 4, maybe like 3.5. I'm a bit tired at the moment. So, but it's still a fantastic game. It's very deep. The AI mechanics in this are very deep, and the game gets difficult very quickly. So This is definitely a game I think you guys should all check out, and the developers are very nice people. As I said, I was given this as a press key from the developers, though this hasn't really impacted on my judgment in any way in the slightest. I do wish that they had done something slightly differently, like allowing you to turn your characters around without having to waste movement points, and just to fix their engine in general, just because obviously there are glitches when you're trying to go from the dialogue and management screens to the battle maps. But besides that, it's a really good game, and it's going to be on my channel. I'm going to go through Ages of Fear 1 to 3, and it should be a jolly good time. I shall see you all next time. So let's quickly save the game, and I shall see you all next time, folks.